Okay. What's going on, everybody? Today I'm joined by former Richmond linebacker Justin Rubin, also known as J. Rube. What's going on, Justin?
What's going on, Tosh?
Can't complain,
What-
man. Thanks for coming on today.
What's up?
Oh, man, we got a little bit of a bad connection right now. That's okay.
All right, we're gonna have to edit this.
We might have to. We might
Oh
have
man,
to. So, for anybody watching this right now, you want to keep an eye on this guy. This guy's a future leader for sure. I've really enjoyed our time working together. We've been working together for a little over a month. We just finished up our time together, but just leaps and bounds, like at the rate this guy was able to grow and just kind of get out of his own way. And that's what it really was. When Justin and I first connected, I think, did you reach out to me or did I reach out to you, Justin?
yeah, I saw something that you put out on LinkedIn, a piece of content, just basically about not settling for a job and kind of following your passion, what you want to do, and it really resonated with me. And that's why I reached out to you. It was like, hey, Taj, I'm a former football player. Would love to connect with you. And something simple like that started our journey together.
That's right. Okay. Yeah, I remember now for sure. And then when you and I first connected, I knew that you didn't need the full scope of the program because my program's pretty comprehensive. It's 8 weeks, but you and I ended up doing 4 weeks together because you already knew exactly what you wanted to do. And we'll get into that. You already had a clear picture. It was just really, man, you just need to be reminded. You needed to be reminded who you were. Like you needed to like
Yeah.
pop your collar for a second, be like, hold on, I'm Jay Rube.
Yeah.
I got this. I got this, you know? And once we were able to get that down, like once we were able to lock in and just come up with a concrete plan to help you execute on this vision that you already have for yourself, man, it was smooth sailing. And
Yeah.
we'll talk about it, but a lot of doors have been opening up for you. And why don't we just kind of start at the very beginning, man? Why don't you just let everybody know what life was like for you once football ended?
Yeah. So the biggest thing for me was I was really confused. I've spent my whole life in sports and athletics from as young as I can remember. And the biggest thing for me is I've always, whenever I look myself in the mirror, I always saw an athlete. I always saw someone who's going to be on the field in a couple hours, the next season approaching. And, within this past couple months with football ending, and I did give my shot at everything at the next level. However, it didn't work out, which is fine. I'm glad I did it. But for the first time in my life, I saw a non-football player. I'm not going into another season. And so really establishing that person in the mirror now was one of the biggest things I had to deal with and figure out. Figure out who am I going to be? How am I going to tackle this day? So yeah, I was a little confused once football ended, but over the past couple months, I really got myself together, got my plan ahead. So yeah.
Got it. So it's really just the athletic identity component where, like you said, you had to come to terms with the man in the mirror isn't a football player anymore. And it's interesting though, because you already knew what you wanted to do. And do you want to talk about that? Like when we first started working together, what your plan was for that career?
Yeah. So my love for athletics is amazing. I love it. I love everything it does for people. I certainly wouldn't be in the position I'm in without athletics. And so that's why I want to get back into it. I want to ultimately be an athletic director one day. That's big picture. That's the dream. But I know there's so many different ways to get there. And I had that vision, but, dialing down into that, figuring things out, how to create that plan. That was really where I was stuck. Right now, I'm taking a gap year for my master's. I'm eventually going to go back and get my master's. It may not be a year, maybe 2 years, just depending on what opportunities arise. I've had some possibilities come up that I'm pursuing right now. But that's big picture. That's what I want to do. I want to stay within athletics, definitely something in a leadership position where I can give back, shape the feel of a program, the success of a program. And, not all programs are successful. And I think dialing down and figuring out the core problems within those struggling programs is what I'm interested in.
That's awesome, man. So for anybody paying attention to this right now, if you work in an athletic department, you better snatch Justin up quick. He's already getting offers. You know what I mean? He's already got some things cooking. I don't want to name names, but people are looking to grab this guy up, and really that's um, because of a lot of the stuff you've been putting out, right? And just some of the connections you've been making. Do you
Yeah.
want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, I think one of the biggest things that I've learned, especially with this new era of technology, is the fact of reaching out. I don't think I'd be where I'm at right now if I did not reach out to you. And reaching out to you gave me the confidence to reach out to other people. Not afraid to pick up the phone, make that cold call to the person I haven't talked in a while. That is a great connection. Just willing to put your foot in the door, take a risk on yourself. Make that connection that could change your life and change the next couple of years ahead for you. I think that's one of the biggest things that has developed where I am today.
Right. That's great advice, man. And then I want to just take a few steps back because you were talking about in the beginning how you knew that football was over, but you knew what you wanted to do, but you were looking in the mirror trying to come to terms with that. Like, what was that experience like? Being like, okay, I know what this picture is that I want for myself, but how did you? I guess I'm really asking, how did you overcome that and move it and then lock in on what you're doing now?
Yeah, I think discipline really has a big factor there because as athletes, we've always had a schedule set for us in a sense, and for the first time, we don't. We're not having coaches breathing down our back. We're not having our roommates, two doors down, knocking on our door saying, "Yo, we gotta get up." That all those influences are not there. You got to influence yourself. And I'm not saying I'm not a self-influencer, but there were times that I was like, I don't have to get up right now. I don't have to get up at 7 in the morning. I have to get up at 6:30 in the morning. But developing that habit, of getting up, starting your day like you would as if you were an athlete.
Uh-oh. Justin, I think I lost you.
Can you hear me? Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah,
What happened?
I don't know if it was on my end or your end, but it broke up for a little bit.
All right.
But where you left off, you were talking about, at least where it cut off on my end,
Yeah.
you were talking about having that same discipline in your life that you had as an athlete and just applying that to whatever it is that you decide to do afterwards.
Yeah. I would sleep in many days in the week, not get up because I didn't have to. I think just going back to athletics and investing time into yourself that you would otherwise invest into your sport, I think that's one of the biggest advantages I've been able to realize. Like take all the time that you had as an athlete and that you were putting into your athletics, your team, and then turn that into putting into yourself, whether that be reading books, just gaining knowledge, reaching out to people, making those connections. I think that time I spent has translated greatly.
Right. That's amazing advice right there, man. I think that's so valuable for a lot of athletes to hear. And one of the big things that I think, because like I said, you were someone in the beginning and you came to me and you knew exactly what you wanted. So I think it'll be helpful coming from someone like yourself, because so many athletes have no clue what they want when they're done playing. They might have an idea. A lot of times it's just something related to like I get people coming to me telling me they want to invest in Bitcoin or they want to get into real estate. And when I hear that, I think that's all wonderful, but I really try to dig beneath the surface to see if this is something they actually want or if they're just chasing a paycheck, right?
Yeah.
Because like for me, when I came out, I was just chasing money. So I got into sales and I was doing pretty well, but I was burned out. You know what I mean? So I think it would be really valuable for any transitioning athletes or, even players who are already removed, they've been in the workforce for a couple years or months or whatever. I think it would be valuable for you to give some advice about how you got a clear picture of what you wanted, and then also any advice that would help them get a clear picture of what they want.
Yeah. So I think I had a pretty clear idea of what I wanted to do when I graduated in terms of the sports world and the AD position, just because of the experience I had within sports. However, I have gone and searched so many jobs outside that realm, and it's not even funny. And then just having that thought that, okay, I'm breaking away from my passion. It was scary because I wanted money. I wanted to chase money because I know this is a slow route that I'm taking, and it was a slow route to develop. to get where I'm at right now. But I think to the athletes who are struggling and don't have a clear idea of what they want, really take time to invest in what you'd love to do. I feel like so many people nowadays are just rushing into a job, a business, just to chase money. And I don't think people will ever be happy chasing money and for that pure reason. Now you can chase money and, have a wonderful life and love the fact that you're getting money. But for the people who really just want to love what they do and go into work energized because they're doing a great thing, I think really take time to develop what you love, how you want to grow, surround your people who you want to be around. And from your end and just spending time with you on the phone, I think the best thing that I did was, letting you guide the ship in a sense, really trusting in you and like letting you dig deep into my life and being open, because I was very open. I'm not a very open person, but, I can relate to you. And that's kind of why I reached out to you, is because you're a football player, you're an athlete who really gets this life. And I think that made it so much easier for me to open up, because sometimes I feel like I can't open up to people because they won't understand. And that's really where I found myself in you and, relating to you.
Mm-hmm. Wow, really great advice right there too. I think that's important for a lot of, especially with a very macho sport like football. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's interesting, man, because I get a lot of female athletes who reach out to me all the time, and I think that's because they're more, used to being vulnerable and talking about what they're going through, and most of the guys like us, man, we're not comfortable being like, hey,
Yeah.
like I'm depressed right now, or I'm going through something right now. So that's really great advice, man, because I don't want to make it just about me. Like, I'm not the only person out here helping athletes after sports. But what you
Yeah.
said is so important because, whether it's me or someone else who you relate to, or you feel like, you feel more comfortable opening up to, just having somebody to
Yeah.
be that person for you. That's important stuff, man, because that's actually exactly why I do what I do now, because I feel like I could have used someone like myself in my corner who had been through it and come out the other side of it and help guide. So that's strong advice right there, man. I appreciate you sharing that. I know it's going to impact a lot
Absolutely.
of people. So now, man, let's talk about what's next for you, man. What you got cooking? What's
Yeah.
on the burner and what's next for
So,
you?
I mean, I've had some opportunities. I wouldn't say concrete things yet arise. I've applied to some positions. I'm looking forward to hearing back within the next week or so. But it's all around development and leadership in athletics. There's so many ways, like I said before, to get to that AD position. And if I want to get there, I'm going to have to get my master's eventually. But right now, in this time that I have, I'm trying to gain as much experience that I can within this field, development and leadership, because that's a field that I want to enter into to get to that position. Just because it's not solely dedicated into one area of athletics. You kind of see overall, you interact with all student athletes, not just one sport, and you really get to dive into their personal lives and be that person there for them. Because on my end, and I've had two people at the University of Richmond have that position, and I've had great relationships with them, and I felt comfortable just going into the office talking about whatever. And to this day, I still talk to them, great people, and I look to be that person in other people's lives.
That's awesome, man. That's great. So, it's only a matter of time before I have someone working with me who wants to kind of follow in your footsteps or at least get started. So this is what's great about this whole, community that we talked about of former athletes that we're building, is that now, because you're on your path, like heading towards athletic director, headed towards student athlete development and leadership. Now, the next person who comes to my program who's interested in that, I'll say, you need to talk to Justin. You need to get his insight. You know what I mean? And now you get to become a leader through doing that. So
Yeah.
that's so powerful, man. So with that being said, I want to give you an opportunity to just kind of like share where people can get in touch with you if they have
Yeah.
questions or want to speak to you, or just
Yeah.
kind of follow along in your journey.
Yeah, I think hit me up on LinkedIn. I'm on LinkedIn more than ever right now. I think is a great tool that everyone has to really narrow down their specific. Justin Rubin's my LinkedIn. Also, my email is justin.rubin29@gmail.com. If anyone would ever want to talk, just like me and Taj have talked, I would love to do so.
For sure, man. And for anybody, speaking of LinkedIn, for anybody, because obviously if you're not watching this on LinkedIn, then you probably need to get a LinkedIn account. Like anybody who's watching this right now who isn't on LinkedIn like at all or isn't on there heavily, you want to get involved. Like it's blowing up right now. The opportunity is ridiculous. It's like it used to be just some place where people go on and basically post their resume, but now it's becoming an actively growing social network. Like Justin has made connections and opportunities just from like posting articles, being a contributor. What was the last article he put out? It was
Compete to complete. Yeah, compete to complete.
All right. So for anybody listening right now, go to Justin's page, check out Compete to Complete, as well as some of the other articles he's put out. Just very insightful stuff in terms of how we can carry over our athletic mindset and just a bunch of different topics revolving around leadership that, it's really, really mind-blowing stuff. Not your typical, run-of-the-mill post just to like try to get likes, but super thoughtful. You can tell he put a lot of work into it. So go check my man out. Anything else you wanted to talk about or put in there before I let you go?
No, not really. I feel like you've done a great job, especially just knowing me and knowing myself, just letting you into my life, letting you develop me. That has done wonders. And I think to everyone out there watching this, really trust in Taj to really be insightful in everything you do, no matter what you want to do. So appreciate you, Taj.
Thank you, J. Rube. I appreciate you too, man. I always enjoy the process of working with someone, and we had a lot of laughs on our calls. We had a lot of
we did.
A lot of very serious moments too, and a lot of we really did dig beneath the surface. So I want to thank you and take a moment to acknowledge you also for being willing to receive the help, doing the work, because it's not me doing everything for you. It's I can give you the tools, but it takes you applying them. And that's exactly what you did. You applied the tools, and just great job, man. I'm super proud of you. I'm super happy for you for everything that's unfolding in your life right now. And I'm excited to continue and watch it grow. And I know like we'll be having conversations like years down the line and be looking back at this moment where we worked together for like a month, but it's just everything it unfolded to, whether it's partnerships or just continuing to support each other's missions, man. So, thank you. You help me just as much as I help you in a real way, man. All right, J. Rube. Well, you have a great rest of your day, man. And I'll talk to you soon, bro.
Sounds good, Taj.
All right, man. Later.
See ya.